Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I mean, now it's too late to fucking test. Fool's already recording.
It's recording, alright,
Not,
boy.
not too close to the vibe, though. Just
Okay, bet.
just let
I'm
it
gonna
go
lie.
casual.
Some
Yeah,
chill,
I'm
some
gonna
chill. I'm
sit
gonna
down.
lie.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. That was a trip way when I fucking walked in that class. I was like, I saw you. I was like, hey, am I in the wrong class?
Bro, you didn't fucking show up the first week of class.
I had that senioritis.
The thing about senioritis is, bro, once you hit a high school senior, it doesn't leave you.
Man, I had that shit since freshman year in high school.
No, I
Oh,
got that shit
God.
junior year. Junior year of high school, I got senioritis, and then the rest was like, bro.
History.
Yeah, no. I'm not
Hey,
going.
but look where we're
Look
at.
at us, though.
Look at
Look
us.
at us.
Look where we at. Where we at.
Yeah.
That's
This is what
crazy to
senioritis
think.
gets you.
But you're gonna tell me about the idea, some idea you had.
I was
Boiling.
talking to homegirl Sophie. We were talking about intersectionality. She was telling us about the different forms of power and different forms of oppression that one person can be under. And all I could think of is like, it's important to learn and it's important to know
Mhm.
what forms of oppression we're under. But I don't like telling myself that I'm oppressed.
Yeah, I think
You know what I mean?
I think yeah. You hit the nail.
I hate it. And so the whole time I was thinking, I was like, bro, like, I feel like it's not making me think or like not making me have like a victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But in class, we have to think about different examples of where we've been victimized by these things. We're just like, bro, like, why would I want to focus on that? Like, I don't want to consider myself a victim of oppression,
Mm-hmm.
although I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, bro, that's just not me, bro. I don't like that.
I know exactly what you mean because it's like I understand it's tougher for some people than other people,
100%.
and that's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know, but like you said, personally, like even though there's some certain things that, you know, like we go through that other people won't have to go through, I don't like putting myself in the mentality where it could possibly be a barrier for what I'm going to achieve. You know what I mean? I'm not so much creating that victimhood mentality, more like I acknowledge it, I recognize it. All right.
And that's exactly what Sophie was telling me. So I asked her, I
Mhm.
was like, I went up to her after class. I was like, in the spirit of curiosity, I want to know your
Mhm.
opinion on why you think we teach us about our forms of repression. Like, why
Mhm.
do you think we do it? And she was telling me the same reason. She was like,
Mhm.
well, yeah, you need to accept it. And then from there, it's easier to let it go. And I was like, that's valid. But then she hit me with the, let's say I don't get a job. Instead of saying, oh, I'm just not good enough, I can just be like, yeah, but it could be the patriarchy, the white supremacy, this and that.
Mhm.
And so she had me on the first half
Mhm.
because I agreed that we'll accept it and then let it go.
Mhm.
But then on the second half where she said, oh, if I didn't get a job, it could have been all of this. And I was like, or,
Oh, you just gotta step it
I
up.
mean, you just got to step it up. Because
Mhm.
at what point do you draw the line between I'm not good enough or they're oppressing me? Like, where do you draw
that's
that
all.
line?
That's a tough line.
Where is it?
It just goes back to mentality, how you visualize that,
But
whatever
you can't
it is.
ignore that we have been oppressed.
Oh, no,
so many-
definitely not. You
right,
can't.
And everybody has been oppressed. Like, bro, what do we just get good?
And that's what I'm saying. Like personally, we can say that. Like,
Yeah,
let's say we don't
yeah,
get that job. Let's say something happens, whatever. For us, it's just like just get better. Just get better, straight up.
Yeah. And then you have to realize where we have that just get better mentality because
Where does that come from?
I feel like that comes from stereotypes of a man of just taking on the chin and keep pushing forward and just get better. Like the gender norms that society pushes.
Like stereotype.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same shit. Which is that, hey, just take that shit on the chin is what the fuck. What
we
the fuck I do?
Yeah.
Just I take it on the chin. Fuck it.
And it's tough, right? Because it's like, yeah, I take it on the chin.
That shit hurts though.
Oh God, dude. It hurts. It hurts.
It does.
But-
it does.
And yeah, I mean, we could attribute that to masculinity. I don't think that's a negative,
I mean, anybody can look at it differently.
anything to its extreme is gonna be harmful.
100% agree. Agree.
But I think as a man, you get hit, take it on the chin.
It's what society's been telling you, or is what you believe.
I think there's too many voices in society to kind of concentrate on one. I think it comes from your upbringing, low key, like your childhood.
But it's the same shit. It's the same shit. fool.
Mhm.
It's the same shit because that's what, like your upbringing, like your parents and your grandparents have been not corrupted, but like influenced by society.
Yeah,
So it's
that's true. But I think there's a difference between like society as a whole influencing you and your familiar structure
Who do you
influencing
think
you.
influences your familiar structure?
The previous familial structures.
The previous society.
I would say yeah, to a certain
Fool,
extent.
society. There's no. You can't escape society.
No, I'm not saying there's no,
Societal
there's no
influence.
societal influence, but I'm saying, families by themselves have different norms from what society is, and it could differ slightly, it could differ like
Right.
in a big way, but at the end of the day, it's still different from like what society pushes. But I also think you should acknowledge the influence that society does have, because I think we are getting like right now there's like a shift, like what masculinity is,
Ooh, that's a good
Right?
topic. That's a good
a
topic.
shift on what masculinity is.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Bro, I think there's an argument of what a man should be and what a woman should be, and those are like specific to gender.
Yeah.
And because we're learning that it's more of a fluid thing, that then there's becomes argument about what is this and what is that. But in terms of what femininity and masculinity are, I feel like those are kind of already set, regardless of gender.
What they are, I would agree.
Yeah.
But how they're expressed, I would say those are two distinct things. I've been seeing like a lot of like it's okay for men to cry, like stuff
Yeah.
like that. Where like, 40, 50, 60 years ago, you would never hear that. Just a change in dynamic, men being more open to working around the house. And
But then you're bringing the conversation back to gender norms and not masculine and feminine energy.
okay, so we should distinguish between norms and
so-
energy.
Because fool,
Mhm.
like gender norms is one thing, but because gender is now fluid,
hmm
that becomes it doesn't matter no more.
Well, okay, so no, masculinity in its energy form, right, doesn't change.
And that's what I'm arguing.
Yeah, okay. So we're talking about two different things then.
And that's what I'm saying. Society
Yeah.
doesn't understand.
hmm
We think there's a shift in masculinity when there's not a shift in masculinity.
It's rather a change in how it's expressed through the norm.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah,
Because
makes
everybody
sense.
thinks, oh, gender norms are this. Where it's like,
Mhm.
well, no, fuck gender norms. There is no gender.
Yeah.
Social construct.
What do you think about machismo? Do you think
What
there's a
about it?
difference between machismo, like, and is it like Latino?
Well, that's toxic masculinity.
think so?
It's just toxic masculinity. It's the pinnacle of masculinity. From my understanding of it, it's
Mhm.
just toxic masculinity. Of that super traditional extreme form of masculinity.
Because when I like think of machismo, there's obviously those negative aspects,
Yeah.
but there's also like a lot of good aspects to it.
Like what?
Like working hard, providing for family, protecting the innocent.
But that's just
Masculinity as a whole.
masculinity. But when
Mhm.
I think of machismo, I think of the extreme,
The extreme,
masculine.
yeah. Do you think masculinity changes across culture?
Gender norms
Mm-hmm.
change around culture,
That's true.
culture,
Yeah.
but not masculine and feminine energy because it's just a type of energy. Like, how can masculinity change if it's a descriptive word?
I would say like the essence of masculinity.
Yeah, like you can't change.
Like
the
its essence can't change.
it's just
But
essence.
then can you change definition? Like I feel like you could change definition of certain words.
There's two types of definitions, right? There's like the definitions that it means and the definition it means to you.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can change the one that it means to you, but in its essence, it means
Mhm.
this.
Yeah. Which
So
is
it's
what
like-
which is what we said
Yeah.
from the beginning to set out. Okay.
How do you feel in this experience, in this realm, this human experience that you're having?
Like what? Like what do you mean?
This human experience that you're having?
Like in this current moment?
Maybe. However you fucking take the
How I
question, bro.
perceive- Restate the question. What was the question?
Fuck a question. I don't know.
Fuck your question. I don't know. We just vibing here. Man, it's kind of crazy to think all these students come from cause we're in we're in a glass room, right? Everybody's
Yeah.
eyes on us. Literally, you walk past people, bro, and you don't know where this person has been, bro. What this person has been through,
Or like where they're from, bro.
where they're from.
Yeah, you know nothing about. I think it's the word is sonder. When you realize everyone is having just as a unique experience in this world as you are, but you just like.
But that's the thing. Like, we don't even think about that.
You do think about it.
Well, now we're thinking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But like when you're going on your
I've been
normal
thinking
day,
about that shit, fool.
yeah.
I bounce back between everybody's a fucking CPU. I swear to God, fool. Everybody doesn't. Well,
Mhm.
fool, how can you exist if I have no interaction with you in my realm?
Yeah.
Right? It's like I bounce back between everyone is having their own unique experience,
hmm
and everyone is just a placeholder until I interact with them, and it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Think about it. The homegirl right there. Does she exist or is she a placeholder?
Well, obviously she exists because
Until
she's
until you interact with her, you give her her own existence.
not okay. Those are two. I think we need to make a.
Okay, she exists.
Okay, see,
She
okay,
exists.
yeah, okay.
She exists.
Yeah.
But does she exist as like a sentient being? Like
Oh, yeah.
we wouldn't even know unless you interact with them. You get me?
Well, yeah, it's an assumption. It's an assumption. Like
I have no idea.
they're a sentient being. Like they feel. They could think.
How do you know, fool?
So you're saying it's just a computer?
Fool, how do you know is what I'm saying. You fucking, Descartes, he says, like, how do I know? The philosopher.
Yeah.
Or it's like, how do I know anything is real?
When you're talking about these things, what is the definition of real?
Yeah. So,
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it something that I can see? Is
whether
it
your senses lie to you. And that's why the
perception?
it goes back to Descartes. Descartes' a beast, I think, therefore I am.
I felt that. I felt that.
What are you going to tell him? Facts.
I mean, it's
I'll
true.
probably dap him up.
What limitations are there to that? Because you could think something all you want.
Nah, but that wasn't his point, though. His point was questioning, like, what exists and not doesn't exist.
Mm.
He was like, okay, like he said, how do I know the hunger exists? Right? Oh, because I can see it. My senses lie to me. How do I know I exist? My senses lie to me. He's like, well, the only thing I know for sure exists is that I have conscious thought. So I think, therefore I exist.
Okay.
But then how do you know someone else exists?
I think it goes to you see that person in the same, like, kind of like that person's a person, and you know that you have that ability to have, like, rational thought, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that person's like me, as insofar as they're a human being. So therefore, they have rational thought.
But even the words coming out of your mouth, or like the skin on your face,
Mm-hmm.
I could be hallucinating.
Bro, you want some shit?
No, I swear, bro. Right? I could be.
Uh-huh.
You could be in this room by yourself. How do you know you're not? How do you know I exist?
Like I'm not dreaming type
How
shit.
do you know you're not dreaming? I tell my sisters, right? They're twins.
Mhm.
I always fuck with them. I was like, how do you know you're not hallucinating your twin sister and he's the only one of you?
Cause dreams are different. That's a different realm.
Right? It's the same shit, fool. How do you know you're not dreaming right now, or not even dreaming? How do you know you're not someone who's just alone? How do you know you're not alone in this room and you're not imagining me? Fool, you can't. There's no answer to that.
No, well, then you could say, how do we know anything? doesn't
Exactly my
exist?
point.
How do we know this table's not here?
Exactly my point.
But obviously it's here because I'm touching it.
No, fool.
I'm
the
touching-
molecules don't even touch, fool.
I'm touching it. My skin, my fingers touching it makes impact. It bends. So there's obviously something here.
We think. You can't deal in absolutes, bro. Because how do you know?
No, you have to.
You can't deal with
no, to a
absolutes,
certain extent,
bro.
you have to deal in absolutes.
The laws of physics only apply until they don't.
Oh, and they apply here. There's some matter here
Bro,
because my hand's touching it.
but we can.
We can't imagine that we're touching something and then we go for it and it's literally right there.
I don't think I'm qualified enough to have this discussion about physics. We can talk about philosophy, but the matter, and
Doesn't matter.
molecules, I don't know.
You gotta make sure that was there.
Fool, how do you don't know. You don't know. You just think
No.
you know.
You can know.
Based on what terms? Like because you can see it, because you can feel it, smell it, taste it.
Yeah, that means it's there. It has presence there.
Have you ever seen an atom?
No, but we know it's here
Why?
because it comprises, like, it involves the universe.
You just because you believe it, bro.
No, there's obviously been like
How do you
hundreds
know,
of years of
fool?
research on it.
How do you know? How do you know? Okay, I'm. Okay.
No, I know you just
Yeah.
You know until you know. You don't know until
Yeah.
you know.
Fucking psychedelics, bro.
That's crazy. I've never done any
Right.
psychedelics like that. But I know people who have. It's a trip, they say.
So they say, bro.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I think that psychedelics and all that, that's some like spiritual.
Yeah.
It takes to like
it's
a
a different
spiritual realm,
It's
bro.
a different realm, yeah. They're legalizing that shit now. I think it'll be
Are
fine.
they?
In Oakland, it's decriminalized.
No.
Colorado is.
I heard about
legal.
Colorado. I heard about that one.
Bro, imagine everyone's just gonna be tripping.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
I
Think
don't
about
know.
the art that's gonna come out.
Because they say a lot of like religious experiences, they're based like on
That's what fucking
psychedelics.
Joe Rogan said, no?
I mean, he said it, but I don't know.
mean, it's not his original
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
But yeah,
I think it was based on some book. I remember it was like that Moses, when God spoke to him or whatever, it was a burning bush, and apparently like that bush, when it like burns, like it produces like chemicals, yeah, that like makes you hallucinate and hear things. I don't know to how much that's true or not, but shout out Moses.
It could be, yeah, shout out Moses.
Then you just question reality in general, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
Oh no, I think it's mandatory.
I think you have to.
I think if you don't question reality,
There's-
I'm kind of
yeah,
bothered.
I'm
by
worried. Like I'm worried for
it.
you.
Yeah, bro, you good?
Is your brain weird?
Yeah. Or bro,
Like, not like serious question.
well.
Like, because just humans in general, they're so curious, bro. And even
Oh, I
even
feel that.
animals,
I feel that.
you know.
Yeah.
So you questioning everything, I think is just part of being human.
I literally love questioning
I love
everything.
it.
I question
I
everything.
love it. Ever since I was a kid.
Yeah,
Ever
it's
since I was a
fire.
kid.
Me too. My fucking parents would hate that shit.
Yeah.
Well, not hate my curiosity, but
Uh-huh.
hate that I would always fight back or have questions.
Like,
you know?
why?
What?
Why?
But why this?
Why?
But why that?
Why? And even with my friends now, I always
That's
ask
true.
questions. They're like,
Of
bro,
course.
like,
Oh, and they think I'm kidding. They think I'm
yeah.
kidding.
And it's like, no, I actually want to know your reasons.
Dead
Like,
ass, bro. I mean, bro, they did some why did you feel the need to do that? It's like, I'm dead ass.
but why?
Yeah, why did you do
Yeah.
that? Or like, why did you?
And they give you
why
the answer.
Did you do that?
They give you the answer. You're
Yeah.
like, why?
Except you keep on going.
No, you
You
keep,
keep on going.
Infinite regression.
Wow, I could kiss you right now. Bro, yes, bro. You literally have to just ask yourself why 1,000 times. I literally tell my mom that.
Mhm.
I tell my mom that all the time.
One of the things that I did take out from the philosophy class that I had was Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about, I think it was matter, breaking down, or just science, breaking down into different compositions, right? Let's say like an animal, right? And what makes up the animal? Well, like it's flesh, it's fur, whatever. Okay, then like what makes up that, right? And then what makes that? Infinite regression. However, Aristotle didn't think there's infinite regression, because if you have infinite regression, then there's really no,
It's infinite.
it's infinite, and that's not tangible. That's not,
Mhm.
you know, it's not a reality, and there has to be a starting point. And if I'm not mistaken, Aristotle thinks like that starting point was God, what that was, you know. And so I was like,
Yeah, the whole Greek philosophers, bro.
they were just different. They just came different.
Beast.
They came different. Like, to think that now we still be like, you know, like talking about them and like vibing with them.
I do be
Vibing
vibing with them. Bro, I swear to God. I be vibing with them, bro. Marcus Aurelius isn't a Greek philosopher,
Mhm.
but still Roman Emperor beast.
What's his book? Meditations.
Meditations.
I hear
yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm reading it
good
right
book.
now. It was a beast.
It's crazy.
Yeah, fucking. We were learning about Socrates the other day.
Mhm.
That's my guy. Me and him are like
Yeah.
this, bro.
It's like they knew. They knew shit other people didn't
You
know,
just
bro.
know. You just know. Not even they know. They were just curious enough to ask the questions.
To question reality,
To question reality, yeah.
which is what we're doing now.
And then they killed those fools for it.
Fuck.
Or Socrates, at least. And Jesus, too. That's why they killed
Yeah, they
Jesus.
killed him too. Rest in peace. I mean, he's not dead, but you know what I mean.
What does that mean?
It means he's not dead.
What do you explain?
Yeah, I just don't think he's dead. I mean, I'm Catholic, right? So like, we believe he rose from the dead.
From my understanding of like,
Mhm.
there's no like life or death of God.
God can't die.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say he died
In human form.
in his human form, but he was 100% human, 100% God. So he felt pain, suffering. He cried when his friends died, you know? So human feeling sentience, right? But he was also 100% God. So 100% knowing, 100% omnipotent, omniscient. The abilities of man, but also had the abilities of God. Not like a demigod. That's a little different.
It's half and half.
That's half and half, but this one's full. 100, 100.
What do you think you are?
100% human. I know you know a different answer to that. I also think that depends what you define as God too.
I agree. I think our
Mhm.
definitions of God are different.
They're different, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause for me, like you can't. There are no words to put God in a framework. Like you can't. We use words like love, wisdom, because our minuscule human language can't even encompass what God is.
That was fire.
You like that?
was
You like
fire.
that? I had to pull that one out the bag. I had to pull that one out the bag.
That was a real Berkeley brain right there.
You know me, way.
Damn.
Come on.
Yeah, that was a good one. You also pulled out omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
I like-
Omniscient.
I like that one. Those were good. I'm working on my vocab.
Don't ask me what those mean though.
Because you said it with so much suave, bro. So confident. You were there. You were in there. You were in the song.
Oh, I was.
That was God speaking through you, bro.
You know me,
You were
way.
saying the right words, bro.
I know what they mean, but you know,
Yeah,
some content.
Yeah,
some
thank you.
content,
Bro. Appreciate it.
How about you, Way? What's your definition of?
I haven't like set in stone
I think that's a good thing though.
in my like definition of God. But
Mhm.
I don't think we should I don't think we should deal in absolutes ever. Any type of absolutes, good, bad. Does
Mhm.
this exist? Yes, no's.
Hmm.
You know, like I'm just kind of constantly changing and adapting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask me my definition of God, I was like, I don't know what God is, but I know what God feels like. The divine, you know? And like, how do
Yeah.
you describe the divine? Well, it's just like infinite power,
Mm-hmm.
infinite love, abundance, you know, of
Mhm.
every like positive emotion and
Mhm.
negative, bro. Being able to appreciate that and just having appreciation in general, consciousness of it. That
Yeah.
is God. Being at
Mm.
peace. Being at peace in flow state. You're in heaven state. You've reached the fucking gates, bro. You're good.
That goes back to like stoicism, constantly changing your
Oh,
perception.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think it was an early Stoic where he was like, you should be a cliff amidst the waves. Like a cliff is like,
I've heard of that.
you know, I forgot his
Yeah.
name.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it starts with letter S. It's Seneca, I think.
Seneca's a beast. Do you know what
Seneca.
Seneca was doing, bro?
I don't know, what was he doing?
He was rich as fuck, but lived like a poor. He would do that to turn back to his rich homies and be like, "Is this what you're afraid of? Like living like this? Look at me, pussies."
Yeah.
Please, bro. Is this what you're afraid of, bro? Look how peaceful and grateful I can live,
Mhm.
like with basically nothing, bro.
And that's super similar to same stuff that, you know, like Jesus taught.
So, yeah,
It's like,
stoicism.
you know, and I think there are elements of
Form of-
stoicism in Christianity.
I
It's
agree.
like, you know, like leave everything and follow me.
That's hard, bro. What
Leave
a
everything and
beast.
follow me. There's a lot of quotes, a lot of
Yeah.
mic drops. One of them was my favorites. If you deny me in front of others, I will deny you before the Father. And I remember I was like,
That's
damn,
hard.
like,
That's hard.
yeah, like some crazy, like, no, like people
Yeah.
over history, bro.
And
There's
that-
been
that's
some
some-
mic drops.
Yeah.
It's like-
There's some cool mic drops. I got some cool ass mic drops written on my phone. Fire.
On your notes.
Yeah, I have a note full of like quotes of the books I read.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember Jordan Peterson had this crazy one. It was like, "Stop living your wretched, miserable life, and go do something about it," or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I would be like, "I'll go to the gym right now."
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
Nah, I fuck with Jordan Peterson, bro.
He's cool.
He's
cool.
a little controversial, but I think it's
But who
funny.
isn't? Who?
Yeah,
what
I
great
think-
mind
I-
isn't?
I'll agree with most of the shit he's saying
Yeah.
because he's very like realist.
hmm
But then he'll say some shit that just like makes me laugh. But it's facts though.
But it's true. The
Because-
way I think it's the way he says
The
it.
way, bro, because he didn't have to choose those words, bro.
Uh-huh.
Because he's saying the message, bro. We get it.
Uh-huh.
But he's saying it in such a thumbnail ass way. Like,
Clickbaity.
clickbait ass motherfucker, bro. Like, it's hilarious. I saw a clip of him today where he was like, for you young men out there, if women reject you, they're right. Like, look at yourself. Are you attractive enough? What are you doing with your life? Are you sitting on the couch? Women will not reject someone who is whatever the fuck.
Like a high value type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally telling you to get the fuck up. And I was like,
It's
that's
like, step up your game.
crazy. Yeah, literally.
Step up your game, and you go back to what we were saying earlier. Do better.
Literally get good.
Get good.
Yeah.
Do better.
What oppression? What was the word? Intersectionality.
Intersection. Do better.
Dang, bro.
Obviously,
Good, bro.
realize those impediments.
Of course.
At the end of the day, you gotta strive to be better people.
Yeah, I agree. And we always have to be.
You have to, and you owe it to yourself and to the others around you.
Yeah.
That's what I think gets me, bro. When I look back, you know, on my deathbed, I don't want to live with regrets, bro.
Are you ready to die?
Am I ready to die? I'm not scared of death. I'm scared of dying.
Why?
Just the idea of like suffering.
What makes you think you're gonna
Tremendous.
suffer?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm going to. I said the idea of like having a painful death. You know,
But it's like in your religion, bro. You go to heaven.
not necessarily, bro. I could lose my.
Is God not all forgiving?
Oh yeah, he is. But at the end of the day, we choose to live a life of how we want it. He doesn't condemn anyone. We condemn ourselves. He offers his hand, but it's up for you to like go and take it.
Yeah, sick ass picture.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Uh,
That's a dope picture if you think
It's
about
fire.
it. That's crazy.
and then you break that shit down where it's like God is reaching for you, brother, and you're just
Mm.
laying there with your dick
You
out.
It's true.
Not even, bro. All he has to do is this, bro, and you have
Mhm.
the touch of God, and it's like you don't even want it.
And you don't want him.
Do you not see how God is in a brain?
Oh, I think that there's a natural inclination for the divine. I think that that's embedded.
You don't think that's just higher consciousness? You don't think like what they're trying to display as God as higher consciousness?
I think that's part of it. But like I said, I don't think God can be he's not tangible. Like you can't, you're not gonna be able to like touch him.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But you can't touch consciousness.
That's true, but I wouldn't. I would say God is so like God is just so magnificent, so powerful that even in our highest form of consciousness, we wouldn't even be.
You can't.
You wouldn't even
unfathomable.
be. It's unfathomable. Exactly.
Unfathomable, yeah.
We gotta wrap up here because we gotta take the keys.
Let's
But
do it. Hey,
that was beautiful as always, baby. And we were just
love
getting
it.
started.
Yeah, we were. We could have dove deep.
We could have. We
Could've
could have.
dove
But
Nah,
next
we
time,
got
be
some
ready.
good vibes.